All right, kids, the NFL scheduled a football game around a Kendrick Lamar concert the other night, and it was thrilling. The music, not the Super Bowl. The only thing that sucked more than the game were the takes surrounding hip-hop, blackness, and black culture. The Eagles blasted the Chiefs in Super Bowl 59. It was the Kendrick versus Drake of sporting events. And how middle America responded to the pregame and halftime show where black entertainers performed was as predictable as saying just after the coin toss that a black NFL quarterback was going to win a ring in 2025. Because both of those quarterbacks are black, right? Both of them are black. But the bad takes actually started the day before the Super Bowl when President Donald, for all the dogs Trump, made this proclamation. Tell me where you've heard something like this before.
This follows the President's executive order issuing a name change from the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
And we're flying right over it right now. So we thought this would be appropriate. Even bigger than the Super Bowl. This is a big thing.
Bigger than the Super Bowl. It wasn't that long ago that Drake and J. Cole proclaimed that they were as big as the Super Bowl when they unwittingly, unknowingly started a beef with Drake, who Drizzy wanted on that same song with them. Anyways, I don't know how renaming a body of water is something that we will never call it, like Twitter, but maybe people who support Trump now will be able to find it on a map.
Can you name a country on this map?
Mexico. It's right down here.
Nope, that's India. What's this?
That would be Asia.
No, that's Africa. How about this? Here? Anything over here?
Okay, so prior to Super Bowl 59, Ladisi sang Lift Every Voice and Sing. And, of course, the right said, there's no such thing as the Black National Anthem. There's one national anthem that represents all Americans. And while this All Lives Mattering of a song that was written in the year 1900 as a celebration of Abraham Lincoln's birthday is nothing new, the Black National Anthem is for everyone. It goes, lift every voice and sing. It also predates the Star-Spangled Banner being officially named America's National Anthem. And that song just doesn't slap. It's swagger-jacking a British song. Just look at how the right reacts to My Country 'Tis of Thee being sung before any game. It's all in the name. We know that conservatives are more likely to agree with policies even if they were simply called something different. So it's not about the message or the lyrics. They don't know the lyrics. I don't know the lyrics. And we know that if they upset at the Black National Anthem, just wait until the halftime show. And if you need a reminder of us not being a monolith.
All right, y'all, I'm sorry. Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl was whack. That was one of the worst halftime shows in recent memory. First of all, Kendrick Lamar is not mainstream. Like, people do not know those songs. The white people at the Super Bowl party that I was with, he may as well have been speaking Mandarin.
We don't need to address him. We already did in the Leopards Eating Faces episode. However, yeah, rich white people claimed that they didn't know who Kendrick was, and too many couldn't understand him, but would they have preferred if Pearl Jam played at that time? And there were a few requests for the Village People to perform or AC/DC. But if those two bands don't have any recent hits or Grammy wins or what have you, then how could they earn their spot? Where's the merit in that? If it's pathetic that hundreds of dancers and participants in this halftime show and they can't manage to feature one single white person, I would assume that Dominic Michael Trippy here wanted the best of the best and not DEI. I would be more likely to take this worst halftime show ever. I couldn't understand him. We don't know his songs thing seriously if it wasn't for videos like this. Gets the people going. Numbers don't lie. Kendrick's Super Bowl halftime show already has more views on YouTube in one day than Usher's did in a year. It's the most watched ever at 126 million. And if you think the Super Bowl lost millions of viewers after halftime due to Kendrick, you may be missing why they were watching in the first place. They turned the TV off when K-Dot was done. Still, there were some who thought Super Bowl halftime was a non-woke, American flag-waving Patriot Fest, with Hollywood using Samuel L. Jackson to re-ingratiate themselves with these United States. And yes, these are bad takes, sure. So bad that I was happy to see lukewarm tweets like these. Yet, they can't appreciate the Easter eggs and deeper meanings of what we saw and heard from Kendrick and others.
The performance was intended to portray Lamar's life as a video game, and it did just that. And while the Cars Street Legal days are over, Lamar's performance in the GNX now go down in history.
This is a non-exhaustive list, but Kenny's Gloria Jacket, which is a nod to a song of his of the same name from the GNX album, about a relationship he's in with a woman that turns out to be a metaphor for his pen and writing rhymes, lining up his dancers to form the stars and stripes of the American flag around him, and he divided it for a time, knowing him bringing together Bloods and Crips, something he's done before. And the A-charm / pendant on his necklace that represented so all this and the likes of Ted Nugent telling Kendrick Lamar that he sucks. Say Ted, I hear you like him young. Then Matt Gaetz is gonna put his Twitter fingers together to post, the halftime show you just watched is clearly the regime's response to Trump's rhetoric gains with black men. Say Matt, I hear you like him young. And he tried to change up and act like what he originally said was sarcasm, but nah. Instead of being there for their fellow alleged PDF file, Kid Rock.
Hey, stop. If you ain't gonna clap, we gonna sing. That's how it's gonna work. You know what? Fuck y'all. You ain't gonna clap? I'm going.
See, when you lack cultural competence, it doesn't matter why SZA and Serena Williams were there, or how Serena's sea-walking was everything. When you're in a culture and of it, symbolism becomes second nature. I found myself looking for Serena in the wide shot. She was dancing over here, by the way, putting on for Compton. I was also trying to figure out where DJ Mustard came from during TV Off. He came out of nowhere. When Samuel L. Jackson appears, similar to when he was Domides in Chirac, and tells a black rapper, too loud, too reckless, too ghetto, he is both Uncle Sam and Uncle Tom. Middle America is already disarmed by the time a bum makes this video.
Who in the NFL hired this act? And Sam Jackson monkeying around. I mean, I'm sorry. It just repulsed me. It absolutely repulsed me. What was the point? What's the point?
Game over. Interest in the term 40 acres and a mule went up during and after the Super Bowl. This is bigger than the music. Eric Doherty in his victimhood said, raise your hand if you survived the black nationalist Super Bowl 59 halftime show while Kendrick Lamar was taking a victory lap. A masterclass over the last 9 months that gave birth to protesting in front of the 47th president. May have been a sneak diss. Certified lover boy Trump was in attendance. The first time a sitting president viewed a Super Bowl live and in person. Didn't stay too much longer than the halftime show, and we'll see how much it will cost taxpayers and if it will reduce the price of groceries. And he was booed in the midst of cheers, but I bet his supporters thought it was evened out when Taylor Swift got booed too. If your favorite politician or pundit watched the Super Bowl halftime show featuring Kendrick Lamar and brought up Satan in any way, perhaps we shouldn't listen to them about the economy or policy. They're reactionaries, feeding algorithms with fake outrage and telling their base what they want to hear. No insight or forethought. I intentionally waited to make this episode until Aubrey had something to say about what everybody saw. Well, according to Vibe, Drake used his burner Instagram account to share a picture of himself and Jill Smoller, Serena Williams' longtime agent. This photo was taken at one of Serena's tournaments in 2015 when they were reportedly dating. And if you're keeping score at home, a grown man said Drake's name on a global stage, but he's got a rebuttal for a woman who was dancing. Drake has been doing sold-out shows in Australia with the Anita Max tour this week. And as much as this video is about the Super Bowl of bad takes, I wonder how Drake is taking this. Kendrick brought up the lawsuit. He said the man's name, and a stadium of people screamed A minor. Weeks after an arena of people did the same thing. And a year and a half after he thought he would be performing during the Super Bowl by now. Kendrick did his thing for the sport of rapping, for black people, for blackness, and for the culture. He also did it to Trump and Trump supporters. We should be authentically ourselves in front of millions and in the face of adversity. Black Americans built this country. The center-right will and have added the words just to the front of that sentence or only to the end of that sentence, as they did and do when we said and say Black Lives Matter. Perhaps the most important protest during the Super Bowl wasn't done by a celebrity. This man held up Palestine and Sudan flags. He was detained and questioned by security, then released. Here's his take.
In response to your protest, the NFL says you'll now be banned for life from all NFL stadiums, from all events. What's your response to the ban, and would you still have done it if you'd known the risks?
The risk of a ban? I was afraid I was going to get sniped by a Secret Service's bullet. I can watch a football program on the television if I choose to, sir.
We're going to be all right. If you're wondering, I give Kendrick's Super Bowl performance a B+, A-. It's not the best I've seen, but it might be the most memorable. I'm on record as saying that Prince has the greatest halftime show. He performed with a live microphone on, playing multiple guitars, in the rain, wearing heels.